Well, everybody, we're waiting on an orange tree, which is a sugar bell mandarin tree. I'm going to go through each section, tell you what's there, if I can get the flag out of my face. And, yeah, I'm done, so my brain is shot. I'm shot. I'm burnt. Keep scratching my sunburn. Anyway, so starting off, we have a beach plum that I planted years ago. They were closer under the front windows, half-ass, and I really didn't like them there. Plus, they're getting overtaken by like all the weeds and the vines and shit. So obviously, this was like probably almost up to the height, like middle of the bird bath, and so obviously this got cleared out, and we still have to obviously maintain it and stuff, but that is what happened here. Anyway, so that's a beach plum. On the next one over here, this is a golden raspberry. And golden raspberry, which I don't think I have the paper anymore. I'll tell you guys the sizes too, but I think I'm working on half a brain cell. I know it's like, I think it's like 3 feet tall and 2 feet wide. They don't really get that big, so I figure this is a good spot in front of the house. The next one we have over here is I have no idea. It's a blueberry. I thought it was a red raspberry bush for a second. I was like, ah, fuck me. It's a blueberry. So we got beach plum, yellow golden raspberry. We have a blueberry bush here. This is going to fill in this area nice. We got another golden raspberry so we can keep with the colors. And then at the end we have a beach plum. Alright, so that's it for that section. And I tried to put everything in line as best as I could. Kind of hard with roots and sprinkler lines. So yeah, anyway, so now we move on to the mud hole. I think I just caught something. Now we move on to the mud hole. I heard the trap go off back there. Nevertheless. This over here, we're going to go backwards and then we're going to walk all the way around the back. This is a bush. Oh, the blueberry was a Hannah's Choice blueberry bush. It's 5 feet tall by 3 feet wide. I found that. This is, drum roll please, a Heritage raspberry, which, if I can figure out how to move my papers around here, I'm dropping everything. Oh, where are you? Heritage Everbearing Raspberry Plant is a red raspberry. They grow to 8 feet tall and 6 feet wide. So definitely, it's got to get trimmed and stuff. But I wanted to give it a nice, good section. Plus, we have to try to get a lawnmower through here. I almost had a vacuum again. I'm going to vacuum the grass and mow the carpet, as my mother says. That guy, we had to make sure the mower is 2 feet wide, so I gave everything a 4-foot grace period, which is the distance between those two. So obviously it's going to have to get trimmed for it to fit in there. Anyway, we move on to a pineapple plant that we've grown since buying a fresh pineapple. My mother started growing it. I'm not sure if she can put in the comments and stuff in case somebody was wondering. But we cut a pineapple and she stuck it in a pot, I think for like maybe a year or so. And then she had it over there in the corner, but I needed to put something there because I just felt like it was too naked over there. So I figured I'd put the pineapple tree plant, whatever you want to call it there, so that kind of fills in the spot, and then if it does grow, that'd be pretty awesome. Next one. This is what's known as a fruit cocktail. It's peach, plum, nectarine, and something else. I'm not 100% sure. It's all a bunch of like different fruit trees that are all grafted onto one. It's for people who don't really have a lot of room to have like multiple trees like I do. So I thought it was kind of cool and unique. It'd be cool to get different fruit on it. This thing is supposed to grow to 15 feet tall by 12 foot wide at mature height. The numbers I'm talking about is mature height. So who knows when the hell ever that will be. Over here, the army truck had found out that the ground over here is extremely freaking soft. And it's been saturated with water because it rained for about, I don't know, 4 or 5 days on and off while I was working on here. So, and I spent a lot of time going back and forth on the lawn. There was also like several trees here, and I think I pulled out maybe like somewhere around 5 to 6, maybe more, stumps that were in the ground. And I was fighting with my 4-wheel drive, obviously, and so a lot of times I had 2-wheel drive, and then finally, like the last 2 stumps, I finally were able to get the 4-wheel drive to engage, and it was really great because it just literally like flung the little fuckers out of the ground like it was pulling out a tooth. So that was good. And obviously today I went on the lawn and almost got stuck. 4-wheel drive would have helped, but you know, I'm like a kid. I got to play in the mud. I don't have to go far to go play in the mud, so go figure, right? Anyway, so the next one we have here is a common lilac, and I don't think I have any brain cells left. Common lilac, here we go. This is a big ass common lilac. It grows to 15 feet tall by 12 feet wide. That's a big bush tree thingy, big bush tree. So what's going to happen here, you guys can somewhat see my faded red lines from the watering, is a big ass pond is going here, which of course obviously I thought it was going to be the size of like I don't know, 4 feet wide. Of course I didn't do the measurements, and it's like let's see, did I write it down? Probably didn't, but it's like 79 inches wide by like 56 inches across, you know, or deep. They call it deep, which is stupid. I think deep is inside, not from one end to the other. You know, it should be like length by width, but obviously Home Depot doesn't work that way, and of course that's going to take forever to get here. Oh, fucking why? What are they freaking making it in Japan and gotta ship it by donkey to get to me? I don't know. But eventually I'll have to be back on the yard with the Army truck, which is why I'm not going to be using all the topsoil, as you can tell over there. I didn't need all of it, so that's good. I'll use the open bags first on this set of the ruts, and then whatever's left over will be the backfill the next time I come out here, because it's going to be a big ass pond. I'm going to need a lot of stuff to kind of do, so it's just easier if I have the pickup truck with me instead of walking back and forth constantly, forgetting shit. I put it all in the truck, I go out there to the spot, and I have everything, and I can work on my tailgate. And I could sit on it too. I can't really sit out here. It's bad enough I almost fell in the mud on multiple occasions. As you could tell, I stepped on the edge and almost fell in. Mike almost went down like a bag of topsoil. Anyway, our next one in front of us here is what's known as a autumn brilliant serviceberry. In around this time of year, in October more like, it gets like orange and yellowish leaves on it. And this bad boy is to grow to 25 feet tall by 25 feet wide. That's going to be a big tree, which is great. The next one we have over is an apple tree that I planted a long time ago, probably about 4 or 5 years ago. And obviously I planted it drunk because it's leaning towards the house or some shit, and also I whacked it. Oh, this is dangerous. I'm going to fall in the mud on camera, and everybody's going to laugh at me and post it on YouTube. But you can kind of see the tree is kind of leaning towards the garage / the house. So I wanted to kind of pull it with the truck, but obviously it's a little too muddy to do that as of right now. This has got to dry, and it's good. That's freaking pond won't be here for a while, so I really don't have to worry about it. Obviously I put the Suburban back because tomorrow I got to go for a road test and finally get my license so I can leave my house. Now I'm trying to get a job at an oil company and make a whole lot of more money so I can spend on a whole lot more parts and save my brain. I'm fucking shot, so I can't really think anymore, but they want me to go for a road test tomorrow, and then I gotta go for a drug test, which the way I drink water should not be that hard. I'm pissing like a pregnant woman, so that will be pretty freaking simple. Alright, so now we got to this area here and we niche it the term orchard. Obviously I'm missing a tree right here because I grabbed my handy dandy paperwork and try to figure out where the hell it went. Alright, so we're going to start trying to figure out where I put stuff because my brain ain't working. So originally my plan was, which obviously between the sun and the raindrops and my brain not working, is the peach that's over there was supposed to go to the right, but honestly it doesn't really matter because that actually works out really nice there. It looks nice there as well. What's going to go over here is that Sugar Bell Mandarin. It's a full sun to partial shade, so that's a really good spot for it, because originally I was going to put the orange over there, But as I discovered working back here on multiple days, that spot gets shady sometime like around, I don't know, 2-3 o'clock ish, and it stays shady for like the rest of the afternoon. But in the morning it's got full sun until about 2-3 o'clock. So that's a good spot for that mandarin orange. As we migrate over here, this tree that we got here is known as a Stella cherry tree. It grows to 20 feet tall by 15 feet wide. So that one needed a lot of room by itself. There's nothing else over here. And of course the above power lines, which you could barely see, or phone lines or whatever the fuck, yeah, power lines. Obviously, as you can tell, it's going to be away from it, but still I will have future trimming as the branches get closer to my lines. Anyway, on to the next one. It looks like poison ivy. This is a Kiowa, Kiowa. It's a blackberry bush. It grows to 6 feet tall by 6 foot wide. This has plenty of room here. From the sprinkler head to that tree there is, from the blackberry bush to that tree, and from the blackberry bush to the sprinkler is 7 foot and 3/4. So it's sitting in a nice spot, and it's plenty of room on either side for my mother to get back here, or myself with the mower. Then we go over to the wrinkly peat over here, which these things always look like that. They just kind of look like a weird ass banana plant, but it's not. This is a nectarine, and I don't think I ever wrote down the measurements for this guy. Maybe I did. I must have at one point in time, but I think I threw away the paper because it's been a really busy week. But this one you could look up. I think it's called a flavor top nectarine. If I'm not mistaken, this thing was probably around the same, like, 10, 12, 16 feet tall. I know it's roughly almost the size of the cherry. And I put it in the middle because I thought it was a nice offset. You got orange, you got cherry, you got peach, and then you got an apple tree. So I figured the nectarine in the middle would be kind of cool. Just figuring, Alright, so now that we're back over here, now we're moving on to the next one, whatever I'm lying to you guys about. This is another one of those Heritage Ever-Bearing raspberry plant, red raspberry. The 8 foot tall by 6 foot wide. Yet again, like I said before, this section's a little different because I had discovered while trying to put these two guys down that I might have measured off a little bit. I thought the sprinkler heads were dead center of this section, but apparently not. They're dead center on the ends, but they're not dead center back here. And yes, I put them in sober, but I remember the day it was freaking hot as hell, and so a lot of times I might have been off with my measurement, obviously. But the distance between the bush and the tree and the bush and the sprinkler head is 9 foot flat, 9 foot even. So that has plenty of room, and it's going to be 8 foot tall by 6 foot wide. It's going to fill in this area very nicely. Obviously, we try to keep it back so we can get the lawnmower through. It's 2 foot wide, like dead on. So try to keep it, everything trimmed back so we can actually mow the grass and stuff over here. And if I happen to have any topsoil left from filling in my ruts for the next go around after the pond is done, then I'm going to try to level out this area. As you can tell, I put some over there because I got tired of falling in the freaking hole. Anyway, so now we move over to this apple tree here. This apple tree actually has a very interesting history behind it. So it's called a wine sap apple tree. And what makes it interesting is it's not really an apple tree you normally eat. It's a little sour. It's sweet, but it's like a little sour, and it could be like a little bitter. But what it is actually used for is actually making apple cider and like apple cider alcohol and stuff. It's one of the most common trees they use. It doesn't really bear a lot of fruit, from what I've read, but when it does, you could eat it too. Everything that's here that I've planted is edible, by the way. My mother and I are trying to get away from corporation food because a lot of the corporations out there use so much pesticides in their water. They spray stuff with pesticides, and unfortunately, if you actually do a lot of research, you don't really have to do a lot. You just look it up on Google. It's scary hell. A lot of these different pesticides and hormones and fertilizers and shit, they get sucked into the plant, sucked into the fruit through the water, and then a lot of them are sprayed on it. So you're basically taking a bite into a chemistry lab kit, which is not good. So there is absolutely zero fertilizer that we use on our lawn if I'm not digging it up with the army truck. What I end up actually we use is when we mow the lawn, we leave the chaff behind, which is mowed grass, as you guys can see here. A lot of times people will rake it up. It has all the good nitrates and stuff in it, so the birds love it for nest, and then all those nitrates and stuff go back into the soil, and the grass grows like there's no tomorrow. Obviously this was weed whack. This wasn't mowed down normally. This was a quick blow by with my weed whacker so I can get in here and work. But if it was mowed, obviously it'd be more level. And you can mow it on a Sunday, and then, you know, Saturday it's like 6 inches. And that's it. And I see a lot of my neighbors spending so much money on fertilizer, and they're like, how do you get your grass growing like it so fast? I'm like, I just leave the grass clippings, the chaff behind, and it feeds the grass, and then that's it. Like, it's really simple. No chemicals used, not even bug spray and shit, because any spots that I have water laying around, all the birds eat the mosquito larvae, so we got a perfect little ecosystem going, and it's great. So anyway, so that's the Weinstein apple tree. My plans on apples, I might make homemade apple cider, which is great. Try not to have it ferment, so I could still stay sober, keep my promise of staying sober. As an airplane goes by. Anyway, we talked about this. This is a peach tree. I got these when they were really small when I was working at a landscaping company. I used to do this for a living, doing landscape design and shit. My boss would draw out the plans. He would come to me, and then me and my co-worker, him and I would go out there, dig holes, plant trees and bushes, and make things look pretty. And deal with the customers' 9 million oddball questions that were never, ever close to what we were trying to do. So anyway, I had got that from there, and it was a little bit smaller than this. I don't remember what these are. I don't have the tags anymore. If I do have the tags, I'm not sure where the hell they are, but I know these are peach trees. And we actually had a couple of the peaches this year. They're kind of small. They're like the size of like a baseball, maybe a little smaller, maybe like a golf ball. And that's what this guy is, and then that little scraggly guy. I don't know why he's scraggly. Yeah, these three are fine. We'll see what happens to that one. Maybe it didn't like the transplant, because these four were on the front yard, and they're just getting over. They were taking over, getting bleh. They weren't getting any sunlight and anything because there's these big ass chokecherry trees that were blocking them. So them back here is great. They don't get really that much sunlight back here, but they will get enough so that they can grow properly. Anyway. What we have over here is a blueberry bush. It's known as a sweetheart blueberry bush. It grows 6 feet tall and 6 feet wide, which is great. That'll fill in this area nicely. Obviously, we'll have to trim it. The lawnmower doesn't really go into this area. This is more of a weed whacking zone anyway. This is like the grill area. We have 2 greenhouses. We got one there. We got one there. This is mainly all the fruits like tomatoes, cucumbers, and peppers. That usually is herbs, but because we started so late this year, we really didn't get to where we wanted to. Wow, the cooker's really cranking now. We didn't really get what we wanted, didn't really get to where we needed to be this year. So unfortunately, I gotta tap into this and add some water to it, because it is a little getting hot. Oh, you cockhole. Obviously, we didn't really, come on, you stupid camera. We didn't really we started too late. A lot of the plants that we grow in these greenhouses, we don't buy them from the store. We actually buy a lot of this stuff from nothing. We actually take the seeds and stuff from it. Sometimes the seeds that are left over, if we remember. We have quite a lot of fucking seeds. A lot of heirloom seeds and stuff. So a lot of stuff we start off with the seeds with these little pods. We put the seeds in this little pod with water in it. It's like a container, it's got a little top on it. And you just add a little water to it, put the top on it, and we stick it in the greenhouses with the container and the top on it. It actually works really good because the greenhouses are usually humid all year round. Especially like, for example, if I'm out here working the smoker, and which unfortunately for like dinner is going to take a little longer than I wanted for that big pork butt. Whew, I smoked myself out again. Obviously, in the winter, it gets really cold out here, and sometimes I got to keep an eye on the smoker. So a lot of times I'll sit in the greenhouse because it's always like 80 in there. All right. So other than that, I'm about to sneeze again. Looks like I got something. But anywho, so that's really it. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the past couple of days. Eventually, when the pond is in and the orange tree will be here, I'll take the photos and stuff. I don't really have to explain anything else to you guys. You know, you kind of know all the ins and outs. Everything I bought is from fastgrowingtree.com. It's coming out of North Carolina. And stuff is good. It's good quality. It's packed really good. It's amazing that it gets here. It's 2 days shipping. I bought this stuff on Tuesday afternoon. And then I know, Marty. Then it was a Tuesday afternoon, and then it shipped like Wednesday night, I think. Yeah, it shipped. Did it ship Wednesday night? I know I took Wednesday off, so I bought it Tuesday, I think. I don't remember, to be honest with you. But it's just each day has been all merged into one. But anyway, it takes 2 days for it to get here. FedEx seems to be dragging their ass for whatever reason. I don't know what the hell's with FedEx anymore. A normal driver wasn't in today because otherwise it would have been at my house early. So I didn't really start until, around 11 o'clock-ish. It's a little after 6 now. I was going to finish the ruts up front, but I was just too shot. Just, those bags of 40 pounds each. I just threw out 40 pounds out of the truck. Dropped probably about 10 of them. And that's it. Anyway, I'm off to attend to my smoker and relax the rest of the night, then get up early in the morning before the rooster crows and head off to go try to get a new job. Later.